How's it going, Blazers? This is David of Blade Banter, working to bring you specifications you can relate to so you can have an educated decision on your purchases. This is going to be a new knife from Case, of all places. I don't have really any Case knives. I think I have one teardrop, so I don't have any Case knives. This is actually the modern one. They did have some others by Southern Grind, but this one's going to be the one that won American Made Knife of the Year at Blade Show in Atlanta. So this is the Marilla. So this is going to be one of the two that came about. The other one was the Kinzua. So they actually were bought, I didn't really know this, but they were bought by Zippo back in 1993. So that's where they're going to still be in Bradford, Pennsylvania. But that's going to be where that is. So we're going to see how this is. The box got a bit damaged. Hopefully the contents is still in a good shape. But we'll see what that looks like. There's the box. I like the box. So that's actually a pretty good setup for that. So for the Case, tested 20. So let me know on the history of that, because I actually don't really know what that means. Tested XX. So I'm guessing 2 times. Tested twice. But this is going to be the Case knife. So this is going to be a modern one. So the Marilla is the one that won that award. It's a drop point. The Kinzua is going to be a Tanto. $164.99 for this one. $135-ish going to be for street price. The other one is going to be a Tanto, and that's going to be $139. And then the street price about $115. This one has a G10 inlay. The other one does not. 3.4-inch blade. Supposedly for both of them, black, blue, and red. So we'll see what it looks like. This is going to be the first time I've been able to handle it. I saw it. I did pick it up. So hopefully it meets some of the hype, because for winning Blade Show of basically American Made Knife of the Year, that's kind of a big deal. So we're going to see what it is. So pocket information, basically some little things there about some of the knives. So that's off to the side. So good setup. I like this little thing here. Just overall good design. I didn't have to take off the sticker. Just opened right up, which is cool. Didn't need to cut that. So this is going to be the knife. So Case. So G10 is extremely grippy. So that's something that is good that it's only on one side and not the other side, because that would be a horrible thing on a pocket clip. The insert is not beveled or anything, so it does just have it go all the way around. So it's just an overlay. I don't know if it actually has an insert or if it's just an overlay. Seems like there's an insert, so it just sticks up a little bit proud on that, so it doesn't have any rounding to this for the edging as it goes around. So pivot there. So this is supposed to be made in their same factory. There is really good. I mean, for a USA made product, it's just kind of hard to come by. So that's going to be the pocket clip for that. Not great on those screws. They look beefy, but that looks like it's going to get in the way in getting in and out of the pocket. So that's kind of the first thing there without actually flipping it or anything else. Lanyard, I don't think that's needed for this big of a knife. But it is there if you want to put one on there. A reversible pocket clip, so right or left hand carry for the knife. It does have a little bit of jimping on the flipper tab, so it's kind of just more of a feel. Not really, doesn't feel like it adds anything to it, but it's pretty decent sized flipper tab for it. There's going to be the logo, which is actually really nice. So that's actually a really deep engraving more than just a laser marking, so that's going to be a nice setup for that. But overall, not bad. It's supposed to be about 3.6 ounces, which is about 18 quarters. So we'll see what it comes out to be here. Reset that. Let's see, 3.6 ounces. That's what's on their website, and it is 4-ish. So a little bit heavier than what's on their specs. So there's almost 4 ounces. Oh, went down. Something went wrong. Okay, let's try that again. Reset. Move that out of the way. And 3.5. So right on. So something was wrong with it when I initially set it up. So it is about correct. So that's going to be about 17 quarters and a penny. So I guess what everybody really probably cares about. S35 for the blade. That's probably the pocket clip. But S35 for the blade steel, and then it looks like it's kind of a stone wash. So initial flip, pretty good. That's going to be the blade shape. It's going to be a drop point. The other one's going to be the Tanto version. So not bad there. The actual, let's see what they actually do for their primary. That's pretty big for the primary. So it's about 6 degrees it looks like, and then the secondary, which is a sharpened edge, is going to be about 20 degrees for that. So I'm kind of concerned with that as far as this primary being so big. This is going to be, the kitchen knife is going to be about 2 degrees. This is going to be about 12 degrees. So probably for thicker material, it's not going to do as well, but that's, action's pretty good. It gets out of the way, so basically when it hits your thumb, it's already on the blade. Oh. Detent's already on there. So it has a nice sound to it. When it closes too, it has a little tink. No blade play there. Good there. Yep, so if this is made in the US, for that price point, that's going to be a pretty solid setup for the knife. This is kind of the initial impressions on it. If you guys have any questions on it, this is something that I do have, so it's going to stay around. So if you have any questions, let me know. But I haven't seen any videos up on it yet, so some people will probably be getting it. It is starting to be available, not on their website, but that is at full retail for that. Yeah, lockup's good. A little bit of lock stick, but yeah, not bad. So I'll see how that works out for it, but that's going to be, I guess, sizing wise, just from what I have here. So that's going to be Solaris, of course. I'm going to be at Blade Show West, so if you guys are out there, Case will not be there. I just looked it up right before I did the video. You do have the Crooked River. And then you have the bug out. So that's going to be the sizing for it. A little bit thicker than the other blades too. So this is going to be the difference there. And with the clip, a little bit thicker than a sticker bar. But the knife itself, not so much. So it's going to be thinner than mine at least. But that is about all I have to say about that one. Let me know if there's any questions at all. But thanks for checking it out. Just some quick updates that I found for this. There's some things that I didn't really like about it, and then some things that I could change, some things I couldn't. So starting off, I guess, for the pivot side, right in the middle of this, just with this pattern being done on the pivot, right in the middle is, basically it catches your finger, so it has a little bit of a bump to it for that. So there's a lot of nitpicky stuff, so a lot of this, bear with me if you don't want to watch it. If you don't really care, then that's how it goes. But that's kind of what I was seeing for that. Still really love how that's really engraved in there. But the things that I found, so pocket clip side, so I was running the regular pocket clip. This is the one that actually is from Case. This is actually a Kershaw one. So I had some laying around, so it actually had the same threading. So that's where you're going to see a kind of difference here, if it will focus. So that's kind of the difference there with the two. So very much different for that. Now this one with the Case ones is a T8, which is really good, but it does catch even with this pretty big gap here. I was catching when I was putting it in and out of the pocket. So I changed it out to the T6 Kershaw. And then that actually makes it a lot better. So I'm going to change this one over to the black one as well. And then that actually makes it a little bit more aesthetically pleasing from the front side as well. It doesn't have that that satin screw right in the middle. So it'll be black all the way through. So that's something that works there. Also, the spacing is the same as Kershaw, at least the ones that I had available to me. So you could actually use probably the Kershaw one. You could probably use a Casey Lynch or some other aftermarket clip on this. That is running that same type of spacing. You just might want to be mindful of this relief here because it is a pretty close one, so you either want to overshoot it or to have a short clip for it. So T8's all the way around, even the pivot's T8. So the other part that was sharp, so with this lock bar cutout, this was sharp kind of all the way through where I could really catch it on my finger. So it kind of was like, it just felt a little bit not done entirely. So I had a work sharp, kind of the little one for serrations. So I had a ceramic one, and so I just really rubbed it inside this groove on both sides, and now it's nice and smooth. I don't notice this gap as far as it catching. So that's something that was pretty nice change. There is a little bit of wear on it now, so you can kind of see that aluminum coming through, which is aesthetically not great, but for use and function for me, that's kind of a worthwhile trade-off to actually have that be that way. So that's something that's not too bad. This one also, I did ask on one of the, I think the Smokie Mountain Knife Works ones, if this was a D-shaped pivot. It is not D-shaped, but it is captured. So it's kind of like a Wii one, which has a little bit of a shelf on one side. So it actually matches up to the shelf on the actual scale. So that keeps this captured, so it is one that is not free spinning. I was able to take this apart by just taking off these two screws, and then it didn't seem captured, but it is on there well enough with these other screws where I was able to just take these off. So this might be free spinning on the backspacer side. I haven't gone into it that far with that, but this also is very thick blade stock. This is almost a 4mm blade stock, and that's kind of where it's going to most likely cause some issues with cutting performance for it. So I would almost rather have them cut that down a little bit. That's going to be 3.7 millimeters for that blade stock. It just would be a better cutting angle if it was a little bit short and narrow here, which would change the angle of this primary going down. But it's a very good start to everything. I think it's a positive step for them to actually have what seems like an in-house knife that's going to be totally theirs. So that's going to be something that's pretty decent for it. Also, the other part for the detent ramp, it's kind of like one of those things where there's kind of like check marks on things that people like about knives, and they kind of put it onto the knife. But I don't think it's necessary for this knife here, because if they had not had a detent ramp, basically the detent ball would be on the knife at about there. But right now it's still, now it's out as a ramp. So right now where my finger is, where I disengaged it, this works, but it actually doesn't work because it has to go further on to where that gets onto the detent ramp. So the detent ramp will take it onto about here. So that's either disengage it down here, or when you actually disengage it up here, then you're basically on that ramp, and then you have to either flip it down or it'll pop back up. So detent ramp, nice, kind of a premium thing. Riot does it, but in this incident, I don't think it's necessary to have that ramp. It might be another thing to kind of cut out of the machining, but that's where again it just goes onto it. And if it would not be there, it would be onto the blade at that point. So when I move my thumb out of the way, then I could just close the blade. But right now it's still on that ramp. So it could either pop back up or not close as easily. So for Case, I don't think that ramp is necessary, and I would prefer it not be there. So let me know, I guess, if other people disagree with me on that point. But that's just a few things that I came across. And also for the pocket clip, it is reversible. And it's not horrible. I did switch it over and try and check it on this G10. This G10 is very grippy, so that's something that might cause some issues with pants wear, definitely. But that pocket clip will run right onto it, so you see where this pocket clip lands. It's going to land pretty much right here on that G10 pad, which is going to be a bad placement for a left-hand carry. It's nice that it's there, but it's also not, because you're going to be right onto that grippy part of the G10 when you're putting it in your pocket, if you are going to be carrying this left-handed, or yeah. So good overall. About 144 I think was, to me, shipped. I did buy this knife, so it wasn't sent in or anything. But that's kind of what I found so far. I'll carry it a bit more. Right now I'm not to the point of like disliking it or hating it or anything like that, but it's just one of those things where there's kind of a little bit more refinement, and hopefully they get really good success from it, where they can actually have those refinements happen over time, because I think it could use it to get some of those things kind of dialed in there and actually just make it just that much better for the knife and really get to that that award that they got. But that is about all I have to say about that one yet again.